Welcome, one and all, you champions of the soggy sock, you pioneers of the bleeding boot, you champions of the crusty toe. The Trench Society opens its trenches to all. My name is Fred. I'm your host, and with me is the lovely Alex, trench savant and strategic genius extraordinaire. Hey, Alex.
Hello, Fred, and hello, audience.
Hey. So, your natural shyness did not oppose me saying you're a savant and strategic genius?
I will take whatever gets thrown at me. If that's what you would define me as, then I will just attempt to live up to your expectations.
Somewhere in our Discord, there's a French guy who's going apeshit when I call you that. Your nemesis.
Yeah, if I get a single thing wrong on the rules, I will get a message as soon as this podcast goes live. I know it.
Hey, it's good. It's good. I mean, which means you're only valued as much as your enemy, but it's not your enemy. But you know what I mean.
My nemesis.
Yeah, nemesis. So, episode 2. The first episode, we chatted, we introduced ourselves, we did some banter, a lot of banter actually, and you guys listened, so that's cool. Thank you for that. We got some followers on our YouTube channel, we got followers on Spotify, we got some people who follow us on Facebook. Our Discord is slowly rising, so I don't know if it's a success or not, but I would call it as such because you are growing out there and you are getting back to us with some feedback about how we're doing it, and it's all been positive actually. Almost all of it was positive.
Yeah, so it's been super fun to get the feedback.
Did you get anything feedback wise?
I've heard from a couple of people, a couple of family members, but a family member who said the podcast seemed good. Seemed we're off to a good start. Trench Crusade is cool, and I guess it's cool to talk about Trench Crusade. So let's keep doing it.
Yeah, we've been called ramblers. Banter can be cool, but you wanted banter, so we give you banter. Some of you are not clear about what we're going to do in the future, and neither are we. So that's cool as well. I've got some questions from the people out there, and I'm going to try to answer them a little bit. Mind System, you gave us this is from our feedback channel on the Discord mainly. A guy named Mind System gave us a lot of feedback. And he said, well, it's cool that maybe Thomas can come on and talk about lore and fictions and everything coming up. And Thomas already said, like, hey, cool that you started a new podcast. I'll be on somewhere. But that guy is so busy now. So do not expect him to drop by every second or third episode. That's going to be really impossible. There's a book that needs to come out, so yeah. I bet he's working on that, I guess.
That and the countless conventions, not a calm minute for Thomas.
Yeah, I just heard from a very reliable source that he's up in Sweden at the moment in a small village doing a convention.
Ooh. I believe. Shout out to Trench Talk. I think he's doing a video on the convention, so I guess go check him out.
Yeah, absolutely. Our Nordic sources are strong in the force. Why did I say strong? I still got some Star Wars in me, apparently.
I mean, save it for tomorrow, right? Tomorrow is May the 4th.
Oh, yeah, true. Man, I almost forgot. I forgot about that. Yeah, cool. But incidentally, I sold my Legion just a couple of days ago. Mm. So I'm no longer playing Legion. I can't bear to sell my X-Wing because I love spaceships and they're still there. But it's stupid to have something on the shelf that you're not playing anymore. And every bit of my time is goes towards Trench Crusade at the moment. So why keep it?
Yeah, more space for the Trench Crusade.
You play Shatterpoint as well, don't you?
Very casually. I own one box of a couple of models, but I play it from time to time. Quite decent.
It's easy, isn't it? Like when you know a lot of people that play a lot of games, you tend to go like, "Hey, what are you playing? Oh, that's cool.
God.
I want to collect that a bit, and I want to collect a bit of this and a bit of that." And I get people who are coming to me, "Hey, Mech Warriors is cool. Want to play Mech Warrior? Oh man."
Yeah, down at the games club, everyone plays so many different games. It's like there's so much, like everything from Bolt Action to Shatterpoint to Armada to Trench Crusade to Age of Sigmar to 40k to Old World. It's like it's impossible to get into it. And then all the small little like one-page rules games as well. Like it's too much.
Even War Machine is getting a revival as well.
I've heard about it. I've never looked into it though.
Yeah, well, it was extremely popular in the 90s somewhere as the first ever 40k opponent or alternative, and it's made a comeback. So people are still are again going to War Machine. So
that's cool.
Yeah, we got a lot of competition.
Always good to have competition.
Yeah, it is. Now, Black Rabbit, also from our Discord, we discussed a little bit about the topic of this episode, and I'm using this as a segue, of course. They asked me, what are you going to talk about the next episode? I said, well, it's a bit of here we go, a smorgasbord of things. How much did I butcher that?
You did pronounce it correctly for the English way, so well done on that.
What smorgasbord?
Smorgasbord, yeah.
Smorgasbord.
Yeah, it's a Swedish word that made its way into the English language, and just means a whole lot of mix of things. Literally translated as sandwich table.
Just so cool.
I
never had one. I really want one.
Yeah, I haven't had it too much either, but it often comes up on holidays and whatnot.
Well, every culture has one, I guess, but I'm going to stick to the English one, smorgasbord.
Sounds good.
So I said to the guy, "Hey, we're doing a talk about Trench Crusade, about all the different ways you can actually play Trench Crusade." And he said, "Like, how do you mean?" So, well, listen to the episode and you'll know. But I wanted to do this episode because I've been doing a lot of demo games. First, as my role as a missionary, and now, the Belgian region is more or less coming alive. So a lot of more people are playing. But I still, from time to time, have people said, "Well, I never played it. Can you come give a demo?" And I don't want to anymore. So
no?
It's like it's demo, cool, 500 points, 700 maybe if you got some time. You get your pilgrims, you get your heretics, you rush to each other and explain the system as you shoot each other to bits. And you tend to not play at your full capacity because it's a demo. Because those people are really like, "Oh, if I do this, what will happen?" I said, "Well, try it out, go for it." So it's enjoyable, but not as enjoyable as playing for keeps.
Makes sense.
So I did the demo games, and now I did all the different one-offs here and there as people get their own warbands. I'm doing a campaign now where I'm leading the campaign, but I'm also playing it. So that's a real different kind of play. I've got some opponents who are really going competitive. I've got some people who are going narrative. And that gave me the idea of putting them all next to each other and doing an episode about it. So that's the smorgasbord of all the different ways we can play Trench Crusade. From all the different stuff I said, how do you play?
That's a very good question. I mean, obviously, it's easy to fall into the whole competitive, read the rules as thoroughly as possible thing for me, but it's often I try to just adapt to who I'm playing with, to be honest. We have a lot of the people I play with down at the club. They're a bit more narrative, a bit newer to the scene. So I try to, maybe not build my list optimally, and do some crazy stuff. Dive the model off the roof. Maybe it's gonna kill someone. Oh no, it fell and died instead. But that's fine. It made for a cool moment. It could have been cooler, but it was cool still. So I think that's about it. Yeah.
Do you also expect your opponent to adapt to you, or do you do the adapting?
No, since I'm mostly playing with people who are less experienced at the game, I want them to play how they want to play, and I just want them to have a good time. Really, like I know that I like Trench Crusade, they don't yet know they like it, so I'm going to make sure that they like it.
So you're still giving demos, actually.
In a way, I guess. Yeah. I think, to be honest, I don't know if any of them have more than 5 games under their belt at this point. But it's a bunch of fun. I've lost count. I mean, I've played in, I think, 5 campaigns in total, and way too many one-offs.
Also TTS, I guess.
Yeah. The campaigns are TTS, yes. I don't know. I mean, rough estimate, triple digits at least.
Yeah.
But
hard to say. I'm not there yet.
I'll get there.
What is this game? I mean, when people ask me all the time, Trench Crusade, what is it? So, what the game is and who plays it? We have a skirmish game. We have a skirmish game in a grimdark setting, but that's not really describing the game, I feel, somehow. It's technically what we're playing, but there's so much more, and I don't know how to say this, because I have a feeling about how I want to put it, but I can't even put it in words the way I want to. When I play Trench Crusade, I'm playing a movie, and yeah, sure, that's narrative, but it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more. The system and the way you play it has a way to pointing you in the fun direction. I don't know if you get what I mean, but there's a lot of chance and possibility to just have fun with the game.
No, I have to agree with that. Yeah, it's easy to always look at the math, but the game does a really good job of. There's a lot of cool stuff, isn't there? You just want to do that.
So, who is playing Trench Crusade? You had 3 digits of games. I had about 50, 60, 70 of them. So we came across, I guess, a lot of different players now. I'm still asking the question: who is Joe Trench Crusade? Who's our mediocre, middle of the line, the guy in the boots, the guy in the trenches? Who is that?
I mean, I have to imagine it's the average. I have to imagine it's someone who, tries to win, just somewhere in the middle of everything, kind of thing. Yeah, like tries to win, but doesn't, not in like an unsportsmanlike manner. Still being sportsmanlike and friendly to their opponent, and still playing for fun. But while trying to win simultaneously, the mix in between there, I have to imagine that's it.
I put this question in our Discord, like, who are you and why do you play this and how do you play? And I expected to have, there are about 50, 60 people in there, hardcore players. And I expected to have all of them, the narrative guys, the casual guys, the competitive guys, and all of them seem to veer more to the narrative side or the casual at most. Like, okay, I know the rules and I'm supposed to know the rules and my opponent is supposed to know the rules, but we're having fun with it and that's the way we want to play. I didn't have one person that said like, well, I play to win and this is about winning.
Yeah.
Now, on the other hand, playing live against other people, I come across the occasional person who wants to win. And it almost always destroys the game for me.
Which Are these people who played more games generally?
Yeah, well, it depends where they come from, I guess. And this is not to throw mud, but when I ask people if it's their first game, and they say, "Yeah, it's our first game," and what did you play in the past? And if their answer is, "Well, I played a lot of 40K," I go, "Ooh," because again, not to throw rocks at people, but those are the guys that squat down 10 or 20 or 30 times to actually see if they can see your model and how much percentage of your model they can see you, if you are out of line of sight or not, and how far you are, how many millimeters. I did a demo and I had a guy next to me. He said, what do I throw? Well, you pick up 2d6s or 3d6s and you take the two highest. Oh, and if I do that, well, then it gets subtracted 2d6s. And then it's 2. And he was calculating everything. It's like, okay, if I do this, I got 60% chance. If I do this, I get 70. If I do this, I get 85. I'm doing this. And I was like, okay. And after a while, I asked, like, did not subtract from your pleasure of playing the game? He said, no, because I won. It's like, yeah, okay, but I mean, you had a possibility of standing in a tower with a death commando, and there were 3 guys at the bottom, and you could go like, okay, I'm pulling my Tartarus claws, going full Wolverine, and diving down and see what I can do to wreak as much chaos. Yeah, but the odds weren't great. It's like, and it subtracted from my pleasure.
Yeah, I think it's very possible to min-max the fun out of a game, and some people enjoy it, but sadly a lot of people don't enjoy playing with it.
No, and a few other guys I played with, this like in round 2, they were going like, "Yep, I quit."
Yeah.
Well, why do you quit? Well, I can't win anymore. Yeah, but you still can have a lot of fun in rounds 3 or 4, or you can even go 5 if you want to. No, I can't win. And then I'm starting to go like, I know what kind of a player I am, and I know what kind of a player I want to play against.
Yeah.
So I'm not as comforting or pleasing as you, I guess. Because imagine if you play against someone like that, how would you feel or go about it?
I mean, I've kind of encountered that kind of player, to be honest. In some of the campaigns that we've played, especially, I think campaigns can sometimes, if you are too invested in winning and succeeding, campaigns can get quite emotional. Well, a bad game is going to net you some scars, some injuries on your elites, and may end up crippling you for a couple of games. And for someone, if you really care about my army should perform the best it can, that's going to feel bad. And for that reason, I've seen in campaigns people, as soon as the tide starts turning against them, they want to get out of there. And so we've always had to set up some clear rules on when can you surrender a game, when can you leave the table. Because freely allowing it, sadly, often turn games very short.
So when we put all these games next to each other, we start with the demo game. Let's talk a little bit about what a perfect demo game is. We gave a lot of them, so we should know what we're talking about. For me, a demo game is 500 ducats, no glory points, on a 3x3, some trenches, and there's an objective like killing each other is 1, which happens automatically, but having your units reach the other end of the board is a victory point. 5 turns, let's go. And I usually pick Antioch versus Heretic Legion to have some really iconic things in there and have them have a feel for it. That's my ideal demo game. What is yours?
I think I play a little different to you. And maybe that's because I usually play with people I already know. I have a feeling you play with some more strangers.
Yeah, mostly.
Since I've mostly played the demo games with the people at my game club and other people that I've met through the Trench Crusade Discord, usually what I would end up doing is we play a 700 ducat game. I try to bring a list that isn't this tailored to allow the enemy to still beat me. Stuff like not building free armor, for example, because free armor, unless you build against it, rather oppressive.
Mm-hmm.
As for the actual game, usually just play with no objective, to be honest. Because I think the first game, I just want them to click with the game system, the core rules. So it's just about killing.
Yeah. It's also a different matter if you have someone across you that has played some other games before or is completely new to the hobby.
Yeah.
If they never played a tabletop war game before, then yeah, I'll even let them take back. I always let them take back moves that aren't good, but then I set aside the objective of reaching the other side of the map as well. So true, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you choose certain factions more than others for demo games?
Kind of not. Usually I just bring out, kind of as you say, to be honest, New Antioch or Heretic Legion, and just play kind of a basic list. Nothing like too oppressive, but sometimes like still picking one unit to be the scary unit for them to feel rewarded when they manage to take it down. But a lot of troopers running around with their basic bolt action bayonet kind of thing.
Yeah.
To still.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine playing a demo game with Quarter or something. That's not really the way to go, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, bring in full armor and just court, and I'm gonna fly across the field and murder your units.
Yeah, that's a certain way to actually have people stop playing your game completely.
Exactly. And early on in the game's life, we need to nurture every interest. We can't push anyone away.
So when we leave the demo game and go to the full standard skirmish game, I read somewhere that it's not 700 ducats, but 900 and some glory points. And I always found that a little bit much for a one-off skirmish game. 700 and 2 glory points, maybe, but 900 and 4 glory points. I mean, what's the standard in the rules? 904, I guess. 908 even, damn.
Yeah.
That's a little bit much.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
it allows some big toys, but to be honest, I kind of agree with you in a way. I think that glory points can kind of take away from the faction identity in a way.
Yeah.
Because usually the mercenaries and the stuff you buy, that's not really core faction stuff. It's usually more shared in between factions.
So I imagine that a communicant and an ammo monk gets set up a lot.
Yeah, you see a lot of the communicant and the tank hunters in games where people are trying. And then now with the Scripture Guardian, theoretically everyone could spend their 8 glory on the same model.
Yeah.
Which
never played that, by the way. I need to research that a bit, the Scripture Guardian.
Well, I'm sure we can talk about it in the future. Bring that up.
Oh, incidentally, Daniel, the sound wizard from the Over the Top podcast, he's now doing lore videos, and I just saw his latest work about the Lions, the Sultanate Lions.
Oh, yeah.
It's now on the Trench Crusade, the official YouTube, and it's looking really awesome work that the guy did.
It was a really good video. Yeah.
Yeah. So I asked, like, hey, maybe because there are bound to be more, maybe we can do some, I don't know, some co-op that they can do a video and we can talk about it, or vice versa. So, hey, Daniel and the guys reaching out to you. Let us know something. So we'll see about that.
Crossing your fingers.
Yeah. Campaign. You already spoke a little bit about the campaign game, and I never had the chance to do one. I started one myself because I really wanted to have some campaign play. And oh my god, is it a different kind of playing this game. It's a whole other perspective.
In a good way?
Just in a way that when I play a one-off, I'm invested, but I'm not really invested. When an elite of mine snuffs it and goes down, I look, okay, well, we'll see what we can do about this. If this happens in the campaign, I'm going, oh no, this is bad. This is bad. Should I retreat? Should I stop? Should I? I had my first game with. I'm playing Trench Pilgrims now in a campaign, and my war prophet was actually hiding in a ditch somewhere, just to not having to go in battle because there was a werewolf out there and other stuff, and he was really scared and afraid. I was like, I didn't want to lose him.
It really introduces mortality into the game, doesn't it? That fear for your life.
And he had a bodyguard then in the form of a communicant, and he went down in the first game and died. And I was like, oh no, it's gone. It's my elite is gone. And it was a completely new way of playing this. So I'm now playing that with 5 people with a map but it was hard to understand how to play because the campaign rules have been revamped now. So we have a 1.6.3 also for the campaign. But it took me a while to actually get into the way of playing because it wasn't really written out very clearly, or was that just me?
I don't think it's just you, based on the amount of questions that are often asked. And of course, some of the questions don't have clear answers even. There are, for example, there's a part in the rules that referred to a section that just didn't exist, and someone would come in every couple of days and ask, where is that section? It says to refer to that section. I cannot find it, and have to tell them, no, it actually doesn't exist. It can be a bit confusing.
Has that been rectified with the latest version, or is it still missing?
I actually can't remember. I think it was removed. I think, but I'm not 100% sure. I think a lot of things got addressed, which was very nice.
I mean, some stuff was easy, like okay, when when something dies, you get to roll a d66, and that's your damage, your marks, your battle scars. I mean, it's okay. You can promote stuff, but the whole exploration and choosing not to explore, but just buying your army back up to the new threshold, that was very confusing to me. And I understand why they did it, because if you really lose 300 or 400 ducats and you only have 200 left and you explore, you can't buy back to compete. So they have to give you a chance to build back to the level to the other players. But what do you lose? And do you lose everything you found in the earlier rounds, or that was confusing to me.
Yeah, it's a safety net, but it's certainly like it could use a bit of clarity. Because once you look at every little bit and connect it to everything, you make sense of this is what I'm losing. But as you say, when at first glance it can be a bit confusing.
I still you made this organigram for me. This
Oh yeah,
and I still use that. So thank you, by the way. That can
and it's
really help.
working.
Yeah, it worked. It's also I have a couple of learning disabilities, and as a teacher, that's sometimes very poignant because what I see in my students, I have myself. So it gets me to it helps me to understand them in their learning disabilities. And one of these things is actually a sort of difficulty to understand certain formulas. Excel is a nightmare for me because I can do an Excel sheet, but I can't do a formula to save my life because the logic behind putting things between brackets and the whole algebra aspect of it completely escapes me. And I have the same thing with war games occasionally. When there's ruling that is a little bit too complex, my mind just shuts down.
Yeah,
And there are some little aspects of it. I mean, there's I played court for a couple of games, and there was one rule that's very large that lets you ignore some things or go back in the future or back in the past, and I shut down and I play something that's easy. So
yeah. Court has had a lot of those. It's
man.
They take
And
the
I
rules
wonder-
that are in the game and just throw them out the window and just make something new in its place.
Yeah, and
It's
the
ridiculous.
whole I played a game and there's a whole system to it. Like you build up blood, you hit some puppies, you get some blood, then you can use maybe the blood from others, from other demonic creatures. But the whole synergy of that completely escapes me because if you miss a beat in that synergy, you don't have stuff to fill your gothic spells with it, and then you go down. So you need to excel, in order to play court. I believe it's funny how certain factions tend to get certain people to play them better, and I don't know if that's the same in other games as well.
In a way, I think that's quite good, really, isn't it? That like they go into that identity, they go into their identity deep enough that different things work for different people. It's not anyone can play anything at even level. Of course, everyone should be able to play everything to some level, but some things, should click. And I feel like if they do click, that's a success on the making of that faction. If it has a fan base that just feel like this is the faction for me.
Just curious, what kind of a mind are you, and how does that link to a certain faction you play the most or like to play the most?
Oh man, that's a good question. I play a lot of different things, really. Like I've tried out most factions, but generally I quite like the long range, the kind of strategic, the abilities that allow you to do special things, which is quite vague. But I quite like having the artillery witch in the back to create a zone of control that the enemy can't move into, having my chorister move up, take the objective, putting himself behind a wall so he's debuffing everything nearby, having the puppet master him into the chorister so that he's stuck there in melee, that kind of thing. Just controlling the flow of the battlefield, I guess.
So synergy, actually units that benefit from each other's vicinity or lack of vicinity, maybe?
Yeah, that kind of thing, yeah. Using my units with each other, I suppose, yeah. Which I think a lot of people think Heretic Legion is the opposite of. But it's still very possible for, I think, all factions to push that.
So you're actually a strategic player?
I suppose so, yeah. I prefer to think it through rather than just roll the dice, charge in, and zug bonk on the enemy.
A cerebral assassin.
Yeah, it's that to play it safe and try to think about what's happening, control the field.
I'm the opposite. I'm really I think I'm an. I never played Warhammer, but I think I'm an orc player. I just go and run and hope for good dice rolls. And I played some guys before, and they were like, "What are you doing?" Well, I'm charging with this, and I'm doing a blind charge, so I can. But that's not logical. Yes, I know Spock. It's not logical, but I'm still doing it. And my complete lack of strategy threw them completely to the side, and it was pure chaos for them, and they could not predict what I was going to do because I always did the opposite. So
yeah.
I don't know if that's a strategy or just plain dumb luck, but sometimes that works, and mostly it doesn't. But
I feel like that there's a quote out there. I can't remember who it is, if it's new or old, but it's some sort of fighting thing, whether I can't remember boxing, fencing, I don't know, about like not fearing the guy who's practiced the same hit 1,000 times, but rather the guy who hasn't done it ever. Because you never know, what is this guy going to do? Is he just going to throw himself at me? That's not the logical thing to, I'm dead.
Yeah.
Like, you can't predict that.
I actually should make a strategy about that, but it's purpose defeating because it just ends in chaos anyway. So
a strategy is to not have a strategy.
Yeah. Now, I asked the Legion of 10 out there, the thinking tank. I asked them to make. We're still working on the large strategy guide. I mean, the components of those strategy guides for. All factions are already on several Discords at the moment, but we're close. We're getting near to bundling everything in a really cool way and having a digital book of all different factions. It's nearly 200 pages. It will be on our website, which is coming somewhere in the near future. And when we were making that strategy guide, when they were making a strategy guide, because I only did a foreword and that's it. I said, yeah, this is step 1, but a step 0 is actually missing. And that step 0 is like, I don't know anything about Trench Crusade. I want to pick a faction. This looks cool, but is it my faction? Can I play this? And then they wrote a little intro, like, okay, this Antioch is doing that. It's that flavor, and it's that difficulty level. And Antioch, they gave it difficulty level 8 on 10. So it's really difficult to use it properly. Then Heretic Legion, they gave it a 2, because heretics are very easy to use. And I'm wondering if that is correct. And if that's the same for every new player that is working, because if Antioch is your playing style and you have this synergy kind of style, or Heretic is your playing style, does not that maybe lessen the difficulty or heighten it according to what kind of playing style you have? I don't think you can put a number on it. What do you think?
Yeah. I think that those numbers will, of course, always be created in a void. The real numbers, the difficulty that you will perceive each faction will, of course, be based on your playstyle. If you're a person who really likes melee, then you might be struggling playing the long-range faction. But in general, yeah, I think maybe not those exact numbers, but roughly those numbers, I think, is probably around where I'd say New Antioch is difficult because it's different to what people think it is. People see
and
the troops.
We're talking about vanilla, yeah? Vanilla Antioch, of course.
Vanilla Antioch, vanilla both, yeah. people look at New Antioch and see, World War One faction, and there's a guy in machine armor as well. Oh, he must be tanky. And then they show up in the trenches and they start shooting at long range, and it doesn't really do much. And the machine armor, he got hit by an artillery witch and he's at 1,000 bits now over there. Okay, that's no good. And I think that leads to a bit of a difficulty gap between what you think it should be and what it really is, which is that Antioch is cheap. They have cheap troops, and they have usually more troops than the enemy. So if you can sacrifice a little yeoman in order to have your other yeoman with a flamethrower take down that larger unit, that's a win. You lost a unit, that doesn't matter. The enemy lost a unit, and they have fewer units. That's fine. It's a lot about that trading and usually closer quarter playstyle than people expect. People expect a trench warfare to be sitting back with their machine gun shooting. But Trench Crusade is not very accommodating to that. It's a lot more about
just look closer. Just look at the close combat sniper.
You think about the sniper priest?
The sniper priest going full with pistols, going full close combat and melee on you. That's
yeah. It's not my personal. It's not what I play personally. I think especially in campaigns, I think that can be quite crippling because again, you get those permanent injuries, and you're throwing in this close quarter sniper priest, usually without armor. If you follow the people who think that's the way to go. And you might just end up, losing an arm or having it completely die or something bad like that. I'd rather put a sniper rifle on it and put it in the back and plink away.
Yeah, I mean, I learned a lot from the excellent guy that Firmer wrote about New Antioch. So that's our girl Firmer actually does a mean manual, but you guys can read that in detail soon. Last thing about ways of playing that we haven't touched upon is competitive play, and I hear a lot of people say that from the moment you touch on competitive play, you lose people. Your community shatters because then the gates are open and all the assholes come in. I don't know exactly if that's true because I come from X-Wing, and X-Wing had a very competitive scene. And yeah, those guys trained until the ways they played was winning, but they were still nice and friendly. So I don't know. I have not enough experience to bolster that saying that if you have a competitive scene, you get the dicks in. And I don't know if that's true. Do you know anything in that direction?
I don't know it, but I mean, I can, from my experience, my limited experience, admittedly, I think the competitive the competitive play style is more incompatible with the other ones than the other ones are with each other. Yeah. That is, a casual and a narrative player, they can have a good game. The narrative player can talk about their units doing crazy stuff, and the casual player has a good time. The competitive player entered into this environment kind of just rolls over both players. The narrative player doesn't really get to do the fancy stuff. They get to narrate how their characters die, and the casual player gets to walk away with their units down. I think that's probably the issue, that the competitive side sadly doesn't play too well with the other sides. But I don't think that it's impossible to have still. I think that it's okay for it to exist, but it needs to exist in a healthy way, as you say, with X-Wing. That it doesn't devolve into, I'm going to win at any price. It's still being a good sport about the game, and perhaps not going all out with your competitive side if the other side is not at the same level.
I mean, I have these discussions with people that are more competitive, and those discussions never really end well. I always have to say like, hey, I appreciate your passion about this, but I should agree to disagree with you on this.
Yeah.
Like, and it's mostly like, this is OP, or that is too weak, or this is overpowered, or that sucks, and it's very, very seldom adjusted. It's always black or white. It's very very polarizing always. Yeah, and that polarizing doesn't help. I mean, I had a guy on the Discord, on the Dutch Discord, the Belgium Dutch Discord, the Benelux. It's like, whoa, this is overpowered, and it destroys the game. And I did not know the item. It was something Black Grail. And he said, well, if I use this gun of the Black Grail, then I can hit everyone, and it's overpowered, and it sucks. And it's like, yeah, well, okay. If something is overpowered or you feel it, go work with it. I mean, a battle is never 50-50. A battle is never balanced. If your opponent is better than you, then you just have to fight uphill. Then you just have to fight harder, or be smarter, or get good. I mean, if it's the other way, well, then you're having an easier time, and the other one has to work harder. And I don't know if that's the same in other war games. Like, is there a war game out there that is completely balanced, and is that fun to play?
I think the closest you get is chess, and I think the jury's out on whether that's fun or not. The further you stray from chess, the further you stray from balance, I think, unless it's perfectly symmetrical. No, it won't ever be balanced. Like, especially, even taking Trench Crusade, there are 6 factions in the game. Every faction that you play has 6 possible matchups. Then we look at sub-factions as well. Now you're looking at, God knows, 30 probably, 20, 30 different kinds of matchup. Is every one of those going to be around 50% win rate? No, there's going to be worse.
Yeah.
And it's inevitable. It should always be strive to be balanced. But balance can also take the fun out of things. You do need the unbalanced matchups, or you don't have character.
Yeah, true. I agree. Now, I heard later that the item was a 6 or an 8 glory point item.
The Locust Spitter, I imagine.
Yeah. So if my opponent puts 6 glory points in one gun, hey, go for it. I mean, I can do a lot more with that 6 glory points on my side. No problem. So whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter. Now, still, I agree on the fact that a competitive player is not the most agreeable to get along with due to the nature of his game or her game. But we have those as well, and they're welcome. And come join the fold. And if there's a way to have tournaments, and we will have tournaments of a certain kind, because in Belgium in November we have a fairly big tournament at Crisis 2025 in Sint-Niklaas in Belgium, and it's going to be 40 or 50 tables even of people playing Trench Crusade at the same time. So I would say that's pretty competitive.
Crazy.
I still don't know. Yeah, we will be there. So I don't know. I don't know if you know already, but we will be there, Alex.
Oh, I will be. Okay. I was planning to, but I'm glad to have it confirmed. I will be there. Okay. Very good.
So you can stay at my place, but we're going to have to work there. I'm so sorry. So
let's make it happen.
Yeah. No, but we're going to have a tournament scene, and it's not going to be huge, I guess, but I hope it will be very friendly, at least.
Yeah.
So.
Hope everyone walks away having had fun.
I mean, it's a quote I still know from my X-Wing days, and it says like, if one person leaves the table not happy, you both lose. And I completely agree with that. Doesn't mean that you have to let the other one win, but fun is there on both sides of the table, or you lost, both of you.
Yeah.
So that's important. Now, the time has come. A lot of people asked us, like, hey, are you going to do sections that you're going to do every episode? I mean, staples of the Trench Foot Society. And yeah, we can do that. And some people asked, like, like you did, a warband of the month. No problem, we can do that. Maybe talk more about lore. Maybe talk more about where the game is going to. I do want to say to those people, me and Alex, we are players of the game. We're not working for the company, and we do not know a lot of stuff that you guys don't know as well or already. So we're going to try to get some scoops here and there, but we cannot open a can of lore that you don't know already and actually put that on the air. So it doesn't work that way. But what we can do is have 10 minutes every episode and maybe put a spotlight on a certain unit. And that's what we're going to do now.
Whoa.
And what unit is that?
This unit of the week is the Artillery Witch.
Well, yeah. It's been chosen by a landslide. We put a small survey online and let the people on the Discord choose. And, well, yeah, the last throwing the bombs as one of the most iconic and most known units we have in the game has been chosen. So I'm going to let you run the game with this, Alex, as our data person.
The entire section.
Well, I don't really like the Artillery Witch. I'm sorry.
I don't. Controversial take there.
Yeah, I know.
Disliking the mascot of the game at this point, probably.
Yeah, she disappointed me too much. I mean, I put her on there, and I have this cool mini, and it's iconic to say the least. And it does nothing for me, or I'm using it wrong. So teach me how to use her properly, Alex.
Maybe you'll learn some today, then.
Yeah.
Well, starting with the art and the mini, I suppose let's we can probably put some stuff on the Facebook page of the Artillery Witch, perhaps. But
sure, absolutely.
Have you painted an Artillery Witch?
I have an Artillery Witch I made myself. I kit bashed, and it's a little fat woman with a fetus on her arm and a bomb growing out of her head. And I like that little person so much that I did not use the proper unit, because the unit that's on the table is not the same as the artwork, or am I mistaken?
It's a little different. Yeah, the artwork I think has a lot more pointy, not ear horn things, stuff coming out of a head, and of course it's hard to do the levitating bomb in a physical mini. So it's a bit different, but the core is still kind of there. Well, if it's possible, maybe we can throw up our minis on the Facebook page for people to see.
I even have some pinups that I can throw on there.
Perfect.
Tasteful pinups, of course.
Tasteful pinups, of course.
But still pinups.
Well, let's get moving on the Artillery Witch, shall we? I'm going to start by reading the quick excerpt on the lore from the rulebook.
Mm-hmm.
Artillery witches stalk the battlefields, hurling ordnance assembled in the death factories of Hell's further circle. They are completely mute, and no one has ever seen their faces. Some question if they are even living, and there are tales that they too were manufactured in Hell. They can pull an infinite number of infernal bombs from a portal to Hell that they manifest at will, summoning them to their hands from a gate of midnight blackness. It's a very mysterious unit, isn't it? You don't get a full picture. What are they? We don't know.
No, it's a construct, so it's created by someone.
Well, it's a tale that they were manufactured. So is there a human in there still? Who knows? I do believe that it's probably a machine. Maybe.
It doesn't have a keyword somewhere. It has a keyword artificial.
It does have artificial, but I mean, so does the werewolf, and the werewolf is still rather fleshy.
Yeah, true.
So it's what does the artificial mean exactly? Like, is there still a soul in there? Who knows?
Is there a rule that a certain thing does not work on something artificial or works better? Is it tied in the rule somewhere?
If I recall correctly, it's used in a couple of places at this point, or not really a couple of places, a few. Is it currently used in court, if I'm not misremembering?
Huh.
I think there is. I'm quickly looking here. Yes. The aura of famine of the desecrated saint does not affect artificial units.
That's very specific. I mean, that's yeah, then only if you're working with court and only if that's a certain type of court unit, then it doesn't work. So
I imagine there's more to come with the artificial keyword, really. It's not used in a lot of places at this point.
All right, stats.
Well, it's got 6 inches infantry movement, the standard. 0 ranged, -1 melee, no armor, 25mm base.
I'm so glad it has 0 ranged.
Yeah, 0 ranged.
But it doesn't matter what she has because, well if
we'll
she throws something, Sorry, I'm leading.
Well, equipment-wise, it always comes equipped with an endless supply of infernal bombs, which we'll get to. And you can take no other ranged weapons, no machine gun witches. Other than that, you can buy melee weapons, you can buy armor, you can buy equipment, as usual.
I never did that. I never put a melee weapon on my witch.
I've done pole arms sometimes. Because, she has -1 melee. She's not going to be hitting, let's be real. But the polearm doesn't care about that. The polearm still gives her a little bit more survivability. Well, maybe you can run something in and save her. But it's a luxury.
Armor maybe I would put on her, I guess.
Yeah, armor, And, and quite important probably, she costs 90 ducats. You can have 1 witch. But you can have 2 witches once your warband is worth more than 1,000 ducats.
Damn. Yeah.
Should we get to the Infernal Bomb, the main guest of the show? So reading this, Infernal Bomb. This wicked infernal weapon is treated as a one-handed ranged weapon with a keyword blast 3 inches. I'm going to be breaking down the important parts because there are a couple of rules in here that are not actually in here. They need a little bit of clarification, so let's go over those.
Uh-huh.
Firstly, it's treated as a one-handed ranged weapon, so you can use one ranged weapon or one hand for something else. Say a shield. You can buy a shield and standard armor. Then you got -2 armor for rather cheap.
Yeah.
Alternatively, you can carry a musical instrument if you want to be dashing. Or you could theoretically buy 2 clubs or something else. But you can't buy, for example, a musical instrument and a shield, because that would take up both hands. You can't throw bombs anymore. Don't do that.
Okay.
Then you specify a 1x1 millimeter point on the battlefield within 36 inches that the witch can see and that you want to target. It's not super common, but this is one of the weapons that can target the ground instead of targeting a unit directly. Now, this is a point I want to clarify, that they can still target units directly. You can target points that are on an enemy, and at that point, you are targeting the ground still. Sounds confusing, but say an enemy is behind cover, you target them. You are targeting the ground beneath them. Even if you can't see that point, you can see the point on the unit, and then you target under them.
Wait. So, imagine there's an anchorite shrine, not able to hide behind anything. So you see his pointy hat, and then you go like, okay, I'm, but you can steal him, so you can actually hit the ground underneath him because you can see his head.
As long as both players, since the hitbox of the units is a bit up for debate sometimes. As long as both parts agree that the tip of the anchorite helmet should be a point that should logically be able to be targeted.
Yeah.
Then that is a legal move to make. Yeah.
Ooh, another question. I read somewhere that imagine two units standing base to base, like a war prophet and a bodyguard of the war prophet. And some people pinpoint the millimeter those two bases touch each other so they can actually hit two units at the same time. Is that valid?
While I don't know if it's been fully confirmed, I mean, as written, yes. A direct hit, which we'll get to in a second, is any point below the 1 by 1 millimeter point. So if you put 0.5 millimeter on each base, then both are directly hit.
Oh man, that sounds and feels so cheap.
Oh yeah, it's the drawback of having a physical measurement. I think personally, I would rather it be an infinitesimally small point, so that it can only target one unit. Yeah,
I know that when I read this somewhere and talked about it with the strategy guys of the Legion of 10, and then went to Thomas to it. It's like, hey, do you know that your players are actually doing this? And he said, no, that can't be. No, it's not right. So there's some discrepancy about if it can or if it can't, and I think it needs to be very well explained.
Yeah,
what the limits are of those 1 millimeter rules, I guess.
The players are great at finding the holes in anything. It's impossible to patch up beforehand.
Yeah,
you just have to go bit by bit, feedback by feedback, and fix every little bit, which obviously is an exhausting and daunting task.
But sorry, I interrupted you.
Yes, let's keep going. So, firstly, you target a point. Next, you make a ranged attack action. So that's the 2d6 using a ranged skill. The ranged skill, by default, is 0. If the roll fails, that is, if you roll 6 or lower, the bomb lands 1 inch away from its intended location, multiplied by the number representing the degree of failure. For example, if you rolled a 5, the bomb lands 2 inches away, as the goal 7 minus the roll 5 is 2. And the direction is decided by your opponent. So theoretically, you target something that's close to your unit, you roll badly, and they end up moving the bomb over to right on top of your unit, and it gets blown up.
So okay, Dark Loser from the forums, from the Discord, begged us to explain the difference between scatter and blast. So
right,
those are two different. He begs us. So if he begged, and if Dark Loser begs, then we do that.
What option do we have but to acquiesce to Dark Loser's begging?
So scatter is not blast.
Scatter is not blast. The two are quite linked, but they are not the same, and that needs to be remembered.
Because we do not have a scatter keyword, don't we?
The scatter is not a keyword, yeah.
All right.
The blast keyword is a little bit vague because it describes targeting a unit and describes targeting the ground. What a lot of people get wrong is that blast does not inherently let you target the ground. It only explains if you are targeting the ground, if you're allowed to target the ground, this is how you resolve blast. It does not let you use blast. For example, grenades, they still need to target a model.
Yeah.
Whereas scatter, as we don't have a keyword, is explained. When you are allowed to target the ground instead of a model, it will be explained in the weapon. For example, Infernal Bomb. For example, Burning Inferno. For example, Murad Bombard.
Yeah.
So it's important not to get them mixed up. Usually, all of these three have a blast, but blast is not scatter. Scatter, usually blast. Blast, not scatter.
Okay, so if there's a model with a 4-inch, 40 millimeter base, and I target it, I roll a 5, so he gets to move the center point 2 inches to any side. So there's a possibility that he still touches the base and still hits.
Well, the 40 millimeter wouldn't. Because assuming you're targeting the middle, it's 20 millimeter to any side.
Yeah, true.
Which is less than an inch. So if the opponent doesn't want to drop the bomb on the base, they're not going to.
Yeah, so a 6 would hit, a 5 wouldn't.
The 6 would still drop it outside of the base, but they would get hit by the blast in both cases.
Yeah.
We'll go into that niche thing. A 60 millimeter targeting the middle. If you roll a 6, you move it 25.4 millimeter. Using millimeters and inches interchangeably is fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you move it from the 30 millimeter radius, it's going to hit. There's nowhere you can drop it that it does not hit. Then we get into the 50 millimeter, because you do the math there. The 50 millimeter is 25 millimeter radius. You can move it 25.4 millimeter. It misses. But keep in mind that the point is 1 by 1 millimeter, which means that the point has a radius of 0.5 millimeter, which means that it extends into 0.1 millimeter of the base, which is enough to count as a direct hit. That's the weirdest interaction that scatter really has with large bases.
I actually lost you when a second after I asked the question.
That's fair.
That's a problem with being having these learning difficulties. I mean, the moment someone talks math to you, you hear blah 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 blah. You were going full Swedish on me now, which is okay. And I'm sure that a lot of you people out there listening, about 80-90% of you brainiacs go like, yes, I get what she's saying completely, and 10% is like me, feeling completely idiotic.
Well, hopefully people did not mind that.
We'll see. We'll see when they get some feedback to us. But I have this. For me, I need a table. I need a help, a chart or something to actually get me through this, because I have this feeling that it should be worded easier or more logic. I don't know if you have the same feeling.
Yeah, it's probably possible, and there is some wording in here that is definitely superfluous, but it's difficult. And as I said, probably scatter keyword could help. Scatter keyword would cut out a lot of the text.
Yeah.
Probably half of the first paragraph of Infernal Bomb would be cut out if you have scatter keyword.
It could be very useful, not only for this, but for a lot of things in this game. And since this is such an iconic piece, Thomas, maybe we should have that scatter keyword. So, okay. So, artificial life. They are not affected by fear. Additionally, attacks with the keyword gas suffer a -1 dice penalty to injure the witch, and do not suffer additional blood markers from the keyword gas. So, gas is not a good idea to use against the creature.
Yeah, they have a built-in gas mask, essentially, for gameplay purposes. Yeah,
and it levitates.
It levitates.
It can climb up without taking an action. Does not roll on the injury chart when failing. In the beginning, in earlier versions of the game, you could do a peekaboo with her.
Yeah.
So you could levitate, throw a bomb, dash back into hiding, and continue to do that. But that's impossible now, because when you throw a bomb, you end your action.
Yeah, probably for the help here.
Yeah.
As I briefly mentioned earlier, you can take a musical instrument,
Yeah.
which makes it very likely to succeed that dash. You can dash out, throw the bomb, move back in. Again, you can't do that anymore, to clarify. The activation of the witch ends immediately after using the Infernal Bomb, the last line of Infernal Bomb.
Which makes life a lot more difficult for the witch.
And a lot nicer for the mortals in the trenches.
Now, I told you I don't like to use the witch because it's 90 points I can use somewhere else, I find. But I must admit that having a witch on your side, not mentioning two, does give you a lot of benefits that does not have to do with the unit and the damage it does. You need to think about the witch, and you need to try to run around her or see that she doesn't hit you. So she has a way of manipulating you and the way you play.
Yeah, she exerts that control over basically anywhere she sees. It's 36 inches, and to go into that line, she ignores long range. So essentially, she's going to be rolling the same no matter what, all the way out to 36 inches. If she can see a point, she's probably going to hit somewhere nearby. And that's really fun as a witch enjoyer.
Yeah, you are a chess player, aren't you? Yeah, maybe I'll use her again a little bit. I don't know. So
give her a try.
I am a bit off my Heretic Legion, but I might do so. Okay.
When you get a direct hit on a Praetor, it feels good.
Yeah, probably. Right, that was our first unit deep dive. People out there, if you like this segment, tell us. Also, give us a shout about what other units you would like to hear about. And in general, give us some feedback. I mean, join our Facebook group. It's there. There will be content on there. Join our Discord. Talk to us. Come listen to us on YouTube. Listen to us on Spotify. And if you like what you hear and you want to support the podcast, buy us a coffee. It can be from $5, I guess. Support the podcast, and we'll do nice things with that. Go on a holiday, Bermuda and stuff like that. No,
pay for trips to Belgium. Who knows?
Yeah, trips to Belgium. No, we'll just use it to actually finance our website and have a lot of more cool things on there as well. So that's about the end of episode 2, I would say.
Time flies, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. So, do you have some shoutouts this week?
Oh, shoutouts. I guess kind of broadly shouting out the entire Trench Crusade tabletop server. Thank you guys for being wonderful. It's really nice to just wake up, check the channel, see that like 10 people are playing games at basically most times of day.
Yeah.
It's really cool, and I think it enables a lot of people who can't play physically to actually still enjoy the game, and I think that's really nice.
It's also nice to have a Discord server. I mean, the other Discord server is nice and dandy, but there are so many people on there that from the moment you ask something, your message just gets swallowed up in 200 messages, and it's really difficult sometimes. Sometimes smaller is better, and the TTS server is a very nice and warm place to ask questions. Also, our Trenchfoot Society Discord is even smaller and even nicer, so come and join us on that one. I don't have a lot of shoutouts that are different than the former ones. Trenchfoot, the band, has create a great intro for us. So again, thanks to them. Thanks to our graphical people, thanks to the Discord servers, and thanks to you, the community out there, to believe in us and support us wherever we go. That's all I have.